Habibi, come to Dubai. Let's start off with number 15, Miracle Garden. This 3-time Guinness World Record breaker is filled with 150 million flowers and is the perfect place for not only flower lovers, but also children. You'll notice just how family-friendly it is when you initially walk in and are greeted by 2 immaculate shrub stallions that serve as a gate to the rest of the majestic garden. There's endless fun things to see, including a Smurf village, a flower princess floating above her castle, and the world's biggest floral installation, which is that life-size replica of the Emirates airplane. As I'm sure you know, Dubai gets pretty hot, so we recommend coming as soon as it opens at 9 a.m. You only need to spend 1 to 2 hours to see everything you want, and if you have some extra time, you can head over to the world's largest butterfly garden that holds 15,000 butterflies. Coming up is number 14, Dubai Mall. The Dubai Mall is the largest mall in the world and is roughly the size of 200 football fields. It has more than 1,200 stores with every brand you could possibly think of and around 200 restaurants. You could definitely fill up an entire day here, especially because it's connected to the Burj Khalifa, and right outside its doors is the famous water show. Other mind-blowing things you could find here is an Olympic-sized ice skating rink, the world's largest indoor aquarium, and even a 150 million-year-old dinosaur, which was discovered in Wyoming. If you're not a fan of crowds, avoid this area at all costs because it gets around 75 million visitors a year and can feel quite claustrophobic. Next up is number 14, the iconic Burj Khalifa. Since 2009, the Burj Khalifa has been the tallest building in the world. At 828 meters high, it's equivalent to the size of 3 Eiffel Towers or 2 Empire State Buildings. It cost a whopping $1.5 billion to complete this structure. There's 160 floors, and you can ride all the way to 154 to visit the highest outdoor observation deck in the world. Don't worry, there's glass surrounding it so you won't fall off. I don't think people realize just how big this building is. If you're standing at its base, you have to crank your head all the way back just to see the tip of it. Hey, might you turn it sideways so I can see like how it doesn't even fit in the frame? Oh my god. The building's exterior contains 26,000 glass panels, and I know what you're thinking. How do they keep it so clean? Well, they hire 120 glass cleaners, and it takes them 3 months to clean the entire building. And of course, while you're there, just outside the Burj Khalifa, you can see the world's largest water show. The Dubai Fountain was designed by a California-based company also responsible for the creation of the Bellagio fountains in Las Vegas. It was so cool taking in the water show from above on the observation deck and then seeing it again from the ground floor. The fountains dance every 30 minutes starting at 6 p.m. The Burj lights up in the background and is truly a sight to see. Apparently this spot is also very cool at New Year's when there are fireworks shooting from the building combined with a truly sensational water show. Next we have number 12, Museum of the Future. This has to be one of the coolest buildings we've ever seen, and it makes sense because its nickname is the most beautiful building on Earth. The symbolism behind it, though, makes it even more impressive. The building's circular form represents humanity, the green mound it sits on represents the Earth, and the void in the middle represents our unknown future. Wrapping the outside of the windows are 3 quotes from Sheikh Mohammed, who is the Prime Minister of the UAE and the ruler of Dubai. And these quotes in Arabic are his thoughts and vision for the city's future. The Museum of the Future officially opened to the public in 2022, so it's brand new, and that's why we couldn't even get a ticket to enter. Inside, you can expect to see the future of space travel, robots, innovation, and sustainability. Even if you can't enter the museum, you could still check out the lobby, which looks like you're walking into the future. It's an all-white room with spiral staircases, mesmerizing elevators, and a ceiling that glows up with more Arabic quotes. Personally, the best time to visit is at sunset, and when it gets dark, this entire structure glows in the night with the city shining all around it. Up next is number 11, the unbelievable Palm Jumeirah. There are 3 man-made islands off the coast of Dubai, but the biggest and most famous is the Palm Jumeirah. This palm tree-shaped island stretches 5 kilometers into the Arabian Gulf, and it's so massive that you can see it from space. To create this, they blasted 7 million tons of rock from a nearby mountain and dug up sand below the Persian Gulf. It cost $12 billion and took 6 years to build. The famous Atlantis stands at the front of the palm, and here you can have a full day of fun at the water park, which broke the world record for most water slides. We actually did spend a day here, and it was an absolute blast. I think if you have kids, this is the perfect spot to get some of their energy out. Definitely visit the Tower of Neptune first to go on the Leap of Faith, Atlantis' most famous water slide. If you're an adrenaline junkie and want to go skydiving, I don't know of many other places that you can skydive with a view like this one. This is actually the only way to see the palm from above other than taking a helicopter ride. Let us know in the comments below if you've gone skydiving in Dubai, because we would love to hear your opinion. Let's move on to number 10, rooftop bars and pools. Dubai is all about that go big or go home mentality, and they definitely didn't skimp out on rooftop pools and and bars. Of course, Dubai holds two more records. First, it has the world's highest infinity pool, and second, it has the world's highest 360-degree infinity pool called Aura Sky Pool. The one we really wanted to visit was the Aura Sky Pool, but of course it was booked out for 2 weeks when we were there, so please make sure to book reservations far in advance. If you like to drink alcohol with city views, we have heard great things about Level 43 Sky Lounge, which is located on the roof of the Sheraton Hotel. This Sky Lounge overlooks Sheikh Zayed Highway, which is this famous road that connects all 7 Emirates in the UAE. It has an astounding 14 lanes, and during your time in Dubai, you will definitely spot supercars flying down this highway. Now on to number 9, the Dubai frame. To be completely honest with you guys, at first I thought the concept of a gold-plated giant picture frame in the middle of the city was a little odd. I kinda didn't want to go, but then I found out what it symbolized. The Dubai frame represents a connection between both the past and the present in this rapidly changing city. When you're at the top of the building, on one side you'll see old Dubai where everything began, and on your other side you're going to be seeing the most futuristic city in the world that has just been built in the last 40 years' time. When you walk outside that elevator, the floors are actually censored, so when you step on them, they turn clear and you can see all the way to the ground below you. Even gave us a pretty good adrenaline rush stepping on those floors. Coming up, we have number 8, dune buggying. A trip to Dubai is not complete without visiting the sand dunes surrounding the city. We went on a safari tour that we'll talk about later in the video, but right now is all about dune buggying. We ended up choosing the cheapest 1-hour tour that we could find, which was $156 total for 2 people. That means each driver will get around 30 minutes behind the wheel, which was more than enough time for us. For our tour, we decided to get up bright and early one morning at 7 a.m. and head 1 hour to the sand dunes, which was the best decision. Not only is it less hot, but we had the entire tour to ourselves because no one wanted to get up that early. Just so you know, in Dubai, it's a law that you need a tour guide to lead you around the sand dunes, and at first I was super disappointed, especially because it started out really slow. Basically, at the beginning, the guide wants to feel out your driving skills, and once you're more confident, he definitely lets you go much faster. Just in case the tour companies run out of helmets with face masks, make sure to bring sunglasses so the sand doesn't spray in your face the whole time. Whizzing up and down the sand dunes was not only thrilling but hilarious because as the passenger, you never really know what your partner's gonna do. There are endless kinds of tour companies for everyone's budget and with different high-speed dune buggies. I'll make sure to link a couple below for you guys. Next up is number 7, Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay. If you don't know what Hell's Kitchen is, it's a restaurant inspired from Gordon Ramsay's famous TV show, Hell's Kitchen. We've had the pleasure of eating at HK at Caesar's Palace in Vegas, and it was so good. Any chance we get to eat at it again, we take the opportunity. Oddly enough, this is his only Hell's Kitchen restaurant outside of the US. Everything is designed just like the TV show where there's a red and blue team and they cook right in front of you. Our highly recommended dishes to you would be the burrata salad, followed by Gordon's famous beef Wellington, which is so freaking delicious you have to get it. Just touch it. It's so raw, it's moving. Oh, with you now. And finish with the best dessert we've ever had in our lives, the famous sticky toffee pudding. Ooh, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. Moving on to number 6, food tour. Let's be honest, food is the best part of travel. And that's why in every place we visit around the world, we always start our time with a local food tour. You not only get to try some of the best food during your trip, but you also get to make friends with locals that will teach you all about the culture. We met our tour guide Sandy in Dera, which is the heart of Dubai's Old Town. Here we strolled through the maze of narrow alleyways, passing by classic sandstone buildings and trying all sorts of dishes like camel gelato, falafel pitas, chicken shawarma, and much more. Then it was time to pass through the golden spice souks where there were mounds of colorful spices and more gold than we've seen in our lives. Lastly, we crossed the Dubai Creek on traditional boats to visit Bur Dubai and have delicious meze platters and some fresh squeezed orange juice. Throughout our experience, Sandy was begging us to try the camel burger, but Anna had zero interest because that's her favorite animal. Of course, I'm willing to try a bite of just about anything, so Sandy brought us to the most famous spot for camel burgers. To be honest, I felt guilty the entire time because in this restaurant, you are surrounded by tons of cute camel artwork and wallpaper. Visiting the old town of Dubai was such a breath of fresh air, especially when you're surrounded by skyscrapers all day. Now let's move on to number 5, jet skiing. Although you can jet ski anywhere in the world, there are very few places that offer as epic of a skyline as jet skiing in Dubai does. Within 1 hour, we were able to see the Burj Al Arab, the Atlantis, and the massive Dubai skyline with a Burj Khalifa in it. We booked a 1-hour session in the morning, and let me tell you, I don't think it was enough. We recommend going in the morning at 9 a.m. Not only is it a great way to wake up, But the waves are the calmest at that time. Even though sunset sounds like it would be nice and fun, the water gets super choppy and it's way more crowded, which allows you less room to go wild. Either way, you can't get too wild because it's a requirement in Dubai to jet ski with a tour guide, but our guy was super chill and Ian reached 70 miles per hour on his jet ski, so they're not extremely restrictive. Number 4, Dubai Marina and beaches. Dubai is probably one of the most well-rounded cities in the world. You have world record breakers for pretty much any category, beautiful architecture, old and new, deserts, and more fun than you could feel in a lifetime. But to have all this and be right next to the Persian Gulf with amazing beaches, you really can't beat it. Now, when visiting Dubai, you'll probably stay in one of two locations, either in the city center close to the Burj Khalifa or 25 minutes down the road near Dubai Marina. During our 2 weeks in Dubai, we split up our time and stayed 7 days downtown and 7 days in the Dubai Marina. And honestly, if we can go back, I would have spent more time near the marina. There's just nothing like having a $100 Airbnb a 5-minute walk from the beach. There are plenty of beaches lining up the coast, but we visited the most popular called JBR Beach right near the marina. Even though it was super crowded, it was the best spot to take in the sunset, watch yachts roll by, and even see the largest Ferris wheel in the world, which was inspired by the London Eye. Another fun thing you could do at the marina is take dinner cruises up and down the coast at night, which will be such a relaxing way to see different perspectives of Dubai. Next up is number 3, Deep Dive Dubai. Deep Dive Dubai is another world record-breaking facility allowing thrill seekers to dive into another dimension. This is the deepest pool in the world at 60 meters deep. But it's so much more than a pool. It's basically like exploring a sunken city. It seems like there are so many rooms and crevices filled with unique things to do. There's even a game room where you can play foosball or chess. That is like all my favorite things combined in one place. Deep Dive Dubai is the one thing I really wanted to do. Unfortunately, it's a bit expensive and it was all booked up while we were there. All the more reason to visit again though. Next up, number 2, Abu Dhabi. Even though this one isn't located in Dubai, an Abu Dhabi day trip is a must-do. Abu Dhabi is the largest emirate and also the capital city of the UAE. If Dubai is a financial and tourism hub, then Abu Dhabi is the oil capital. And that's because 96% of the country's oil is found in this one emirate. Right now to visit Abu Dhabi, you need a COVID test, but most tour companies will help you set one up at your hotel beforehand. After driving an hour and a half from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, you can first stop at the Louvre Museum. If you haven't noticed, Dubai likes to copycat a lot of famous landmarks around the world, and they went over the top for the Louvre. Just for the name itself, the UAE paid France $500 million for a 30-year contract. Although this museum has a bunch of cool art, it's nothing compared to the galleries in Paris. But the real thing to be excited about here is this spectacular architecture. This massive floating dome on top of an all-white building contrasts perfectly with the surrounding blue water. What's really cool about the dome is that it has 8 different layers, which creates this rain of light effect coming through as you're walking around. After the Louvre, you can visit many more places like the Emirates Palace, which is now turned into a hotel that you could stay at. And then you can hop right over to the Presidential Palace where all the government meetings are held. Now, one of the main reasons you're probably wanting to visit Abu Dhabi is for the Grand Mosque, which is the 9th largest mosque in the world and can fit upwards of 40,000 worshippers at once. This was by far the prettiest mosque we've ever been to, especially because it's all white marble. Walking around, I couldn't believe my eyes because it was just perfection. Keep in mind there is a dress code here where men have to cover their shoulders and knees and women have to cover pretty much everything besides their face. Thankfully, our tour guide was nice enough to bring an extra abaya, which is a traditional outfit of Emirati women. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is a place of worship, so please be respectful. The security guards do not want you touching each other in photos, giving peace signs, or basically any movement other than smiling. Now, coming in at number 1, the safari tour. A safari tour is something everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime. When you leave the city and approach the desert, you really get to see what a local Bedouin lived like. Bedouins are nomadic Arab tribes who have historically inhabited the desert regions. Although there aren't many native Bedouins left in the UAE, their traditions are passed down and celebrated with visitors. If you have a layover or just a short amount of time in Dubai, you should definitely book a desert safari tour. Here's everything that's included. First, you'll get picked up from your accommodation. It's about an hour drive to the desert, and the first thing offered is camel riding. Although we skipped the camel riding, we did get to say hi to some baby camels. After all, they are my favorite land animal. Next, we rode in a G-Class vintage Mercedes throughout the sand dunes, which was so much fun. It was a total vibe, especially once the most beautiful sun began setting. Along the ride, we spotted wild gazelles and even the incredible Arabian oryx. The Arabian oryx were so cool, I can't even describe it. These are the official animal of the UAE, and their extremely long, straight horns will truly blow you away.